My name is Eric Benari, and this is Games People Play. The game in this episode is called Cops and Robbers. You might all be familiar with it, it's just like the childhood game. Because many criminals are cop haters, they seem to get as much satisfaction from outwitting the police as from their criminal gains, often more. Their crimes at the inner adult level are games played for the material rewards that they take, but at the inner child level, it is the thrill of the chase, the getaway, and the cool-off. Curiously enough, the childhood prototype of Cops and Robbers is not Cops and Robbers, but rather a hide-and-seek, in which the essential element is the chagrin of being found. Younger children readily betray this if father finds them too easily. The chagrin is there without much fun. But father, if he is a good player, knows what to do. He holds off, whereupon the little boy gives him a clue by calling out, dropping something, or banging. Thus he forces father to find him, but he still shows chagrin. This time he has had more fun because of the increased suspense. If father gives up, the boy usually feels disappointed rather than victorious. Since the fun of being hidden was there, evidently that is not where the trouble lies. What he is disappointed about is not being caught. When his turn comes to hide, father knows he is not supposed to outwit the little boy for very long, just long enough to make it fun. And he is wise enough to look chagrined when he is caught. It soon becomes clear that being found is the necessary payoff. Hence, hide and seek is not a mere pastime, but a true game. At the social level, it is a battle of wits, and it is most satisfying when the adult of each player does his best. At the psychological level, however, it is set up like compulsive gambling, in which Mr. Whitman's inner adult has to lose in order for his inner child to win. Not being caught is actually the antithesis. Among older children, one who finds an insoluble hiding place is regarded as not being a good sport, since he has spoiled the game. He has eliminated the inner child element and turned the whole thing into an inner adult procedure. He is no longer playing for fun. He is in the same class as the owner of a casino or some professional criminals who are really out there for the money and not the sport. There seem to be two distinctive types of habitual criminals: those who are in crime primarily for profit, and those who are in it primarily for the game, with a large group in between who can actually handle it either way it goes. The compulsive winner, the big money maker whose inner child really does not want to be caught, rarely is, according to reports, an untouchable, for whom the fix is always in. The compulsive loser, on the other hand, who is playing cops and robbers, seldom does very well financially. The exceptions to this often seem to be due to luck rather than skill. In the long run, even the lucky ones usually end up, as their inner child requires, squawking rather than riding high. The Cops and Robbers player can shift roles from robber to cop and cop to robber. In some cases, he may play the inner parental cop during the day and the inner child robber after dark. There is a cop in many robbers and a robber in many cops. If the criminal reforms, he may play the role of rescuer, becoming a social worker or a mission worker. The rescuer is far less important in this game than in the game of Alcoholic, which we covered in another video. Ordinarily, however, the player's role as robber is his destiny, and each has his own modus operandi for getting caught. He may make it tough or easy on the cops. The situation is similar with gamblers. At the social or sociological level, a professional gambler is one whose chief interest in life is gambling. But at the psychological level, there are two different kinds of people who are professional gamblers. There are those who spend their time gaming, playing with fate, in whom the strength of the inner adult's desire to win is exceeded only by the strength of the inner child's desire, and need to lose. Then there are those who run gambling houses and actually do earn a living, usually a very good one, by providing opportunities for gamesters to play. They themselves are not playing and try to avoid playing, although occasionally under certain conditions they will indulge themselves and enjoy it, just as a straight criminal may occasionally play a game of cops and robbers. This throws light on why sociological and psychological studies of criminals have been generally ambiguous and unproductive. They are dealing with two different kinds of people who cannot be adequately differentiated in the ordinary theoretical and empirical frameworks. The same is true in studying gamblers. Transactional and game analysis offer an immediate solution for this. They remove the ambiguity by distinguishing transactionally below the social level between players and straight professionals. Let us now turn from this general thesis to consider specific examples. Some burglars do their jobs without any waste of motion. The cops and robbers burglar leaves his calling card in gratuitous acts of vandalism, such as spoiling valuable clothing with secretions and excretions. The straight bank robber, according to reports, takes every possible precaution to avoid violence. The cops and bank robber is only looking for an excuse to vent his anger. Like any professional, a straight criminal likes his jobs to be as clean as circumstances permit. The cops and robbers criminal is compelled to blow off steam in the course of his work. The true professional is said never to operate until the fix is in. The player is willing to take on the law barehanded. Straight professionals are well aware in their way, in their own way, of the game of cops and robbers. If a gang member shows too much interest in the game to the point of jeopardizing the job, and particularly if his need to be caught begins to show, they will take drastic measures to prevent recurrence. Perhaps it is just because straight professionals are not playing cops and robbers that they are so seldom caught, and hence so rarely studied sociologically, psychologically, and psychiatrically. And this applies to gamblers as well. Hence, most of our clinical knowledge about criminals and gamblers refers to players rather than straight professionals. Kleptomaniacs, as opposed to professional shoplifters, are examples of how widely trivial cops and robbers is played. It is probable that a very large percentage of Occidentals, at least, have played cops and robbers, at least in fantasy, and that is what sells newspapers in our half of the world. The fantasy frequently occurs in the form of daydreaming up the perfect murder, which is playing the hardest possible game and completely outwitting the cops. Let's discuss the antithesis. This is the concern of qualified criminologists rather than psychiatrists. The police and judiciary apparatus are not antithetical, but are playing their roles in the game under the roles set up by society. One thing should be emphasized, however. Research workers in criminology may joke that some criminals behave as though they enjoyed the chase and wanted to be caught, or they may read the idea and agree in a differential way. But they show little tendency to consider such as an academic factor as decisive in their serious work. For one thing, there is no way to unmask this element through the standard methods of psychological research. The investigator must therefore either overlook a crucial point because he cannot work with it within his research tools, or else change his tools. The fact is that those tools have so far not yielded one single solution to any problem in criminology. Researchers might therefore be better off discarding the old methods and tackling the problem freshly. Until cops and robbers is accepted not merely as an interesting anomaly, but as the very heart of the matter in a significant percentage of cases, much research in criminology will continue to deal with the trivialities, doctrines, peripheral issues, or irrelevancies. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next game that we will play.